Shushan lands and regalia. Cheap little flower coming at you from the safety, the privacy, the fallacy of privacy, because right there is a fire alarm, and it has a yellow intermittent light that's there that you can really see in the evening, and once in a while, a red light, just fleeting. I'm all like, that's a red light. Why you got a red light like that? So at any rate, that's why I say fallacy of a private sanctuary, and may all peepers that be placing their eyes where they don't belong endure blindness, as the sky is long forever and ever, unless you come forth and speak the truth. May your days of wickedness and debauchery line your day-to-day activities and all the ways you peeped upon others that you had no business of knowing. Seriously. So at the time of this recording, it is January, really? June 24th, 2024. So, hey, I gotta ask. I really have to ask. With all the copycats out there, what do you do when I take a couple days off? I'm all like, did y'all grow your hair back yet? Did you all get the implants too of the widow's peak? Because y'all are gone bananas. And so, America, check it out. This, the whole, infrastructure of all of this Auschwitz 2.0 is a lot more bananas than just snuffing out people, okay? The snuffing out is more like the climax of, I think we've squeezed it for every last creative brainchild we can. I think we've molded over for every instant of energy harvesting. We've pretty much come at them so sideways to now they're just like a limp rag doll with the bloody pulp. Now we go in for the stabbing it to death in whatever way they do that. I'm like, they can do it by lying. Because the police officers are in on it. As evidenced by the lack of, because like in my training as a paramedic, there's such thing called as a pertinent negative. And so the pertinent negative is that your police officer departments do not have an instituted algorithm of subjective-objective protocol for gang stalking to help the targeted individual that's being targeted, that you are met with their FBI trained ways of gaslighting the public with her. Gang stalking? Explain that to me. I'm all like, okay, you're the professional here, and your public has to teach you what targeting of the individual is? Has to teach you the history of what Project Paperclip meant to the United States as it is. That's because they're part of it, bitches. They're part of it. That should concern you. Because in this day and age, with the advent of technology, how could you not know your own history of gang stalking? How could you not know the history of targeting of the individual here? That's because you guys are on the down low getting your fucking hands greased by all of that blood coin. You guys are just like, just show your teeth as you snarl and slough off the blood and go run and play and go on vacations at the detriment of somebody else's expense. Have keg parties whenever your targeted individuals can't take it no more and decide to succumb to the suicide squads. Y'all are suicide squads. Because everything that the PSYOP assignment prostitutes run with their gaslighting triggers in the environment and triggers in the dialogue that they have with others for you to overhear. You all are suicide squads, bitches. And I guess you guys are just so vehement of just love for the money. You guys don't fucking care. Of course not. So at any rate, yes, PD. You want others to back the blue? Why aren't you backing the public with your call to service here? I mean, you guys are servicing yourselves to the public. Yes, you are. As evidenced by your lack of subjective-objective protocol to protect the targeted individual that's being group stalked, otherwise known as gang stalked. You all just downplay it to a spitball of semantics. Y'all are gaslighting the world. And then so, whatever. At any rate, you all are, I'm calling judgment, especially on the CIA, FBI, three-letter word agencies, and especially the po-po police officers in your departments. And of course, the military, especially the military and militia. I mean, everybody in between, the U.S. Army, who else is out there? God knows. You hear me, Abba. Please take care of them. Please take care of them. Please take care of them. In all of the ways that they have taken care of others, for better or for worse. Let's get that judgment here going. So if your police officer, your departments do not have subjective-objective protocol for protection of targeted individuals, babies, we know you're a part of it. You can only gaslight the public for so long. What you going to do? Just turn around and Red Bull us like fucking China and then completely snuff out every instance of any academic education, of acumen to higher states of learned ways? I mean, what you gonna do? Pretend World War II never existed? I mean, come on now. Y'all all are Nazis, bitches. Okay, indoctrination of being Team Judas by performing as a Nazi. I mean, what are you gonna do? Pretend that Nazis never existed and that Adolf Hitler never existed and that Auschwitz never existed and Dr. Mengele never existed? I mean, Dr. Mengele is y'all's godfather here in all of this Nazi tirade of organized crime, organized hate crimes at that. Y'all got a lot of amending to do here, or just be snuffed out by Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, please and thank you. Take care of these rat bastards for us, would ya? But nonetheless, anyways, my talk here today really is about how do you deal with opposition. So I suggest, if you want to learn manifesting, one of my greatest teachers and mentors is Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham Hicks. And as per Abraham Hicks, there was an episode to where a politician wanted to know the best way of addressing contrast without expansion of said contrast. And then so the contrast is challenges. And it's like whenever we deal with issues, as anything we give our attention to, the universe goes, oh, you gave attention to it. Here, have some more of it. You must really like it. Oh, you really got very expletive out whenever you stubbed your toe because this guy here was blocking your way, and then you had to fall back and accidentally stub your toe. So now that you're all mad, oh, here, have some more of that. So to get around that and how to work with it, the politician wanted to know. And then so, but basically, what Abraham Hicks had said is the way to do that is not to push back. Now, herein follows the conundrum of not to push back. And then there was the response to it was, we are discerning creatures, and this is where our reasoning comes into play with dealing with contrast and not pushing back. That is a sojourn for everybody to figure out. So I took that to heart. I'm like, okay, because I really, I'm getting my ass shanghaied here by all of these rat bastards gaslighting, all of these King Judas of Nazi bidding. I mean, take a look at, I've been harassed, and the cops that I ask, what is your subjective objective protocol for gang stalking? They're all like, gang stalking. I'm all like, okay. It's kind of like asking a surgeon, what do you think of a narrow pulse pressure whenever you take a blood pressure? And then they'd be like, narrow pulse pressure? What's that? I mean, you'd be like, oh shit, this ain't good. I'll be like, okay, this ain't good. So I did my own sojourn. And then so this is what I came up that works for me. You all will have to do your own sojourn with what it means not to push back, with learning how to deal with contrast in your life to keep your vibe high, and as would Abraham Hicks would say, on a high-flying disc, because we are entertained throughout the atmosphere with varying degrees of opportunity to vibe low, vibe mediocre, vibe oh yeah, or vibe woohoo, in the middle of all the contrast. So, of course, now I'm going to stop and tell you guys a little story here. Oh my God. So back in Houston, before all of this bukkake of gang stalking went bananas in my life, I was visiting, I guess, what part of Houston would you call it? I called it the beauty supply central part of Houston. Oh my God, I loved it. Every time I go get my vaccinations or such for school, I go to this place off Laura Cope Street, Koppe, and there's so many wonderful beauty supply stores. So I'm sitting there, I mean, this is like early in the morning. And then so after, I don't know, maybe had been like noon or 1 o'clock, I was in this particular beauty supply store, and the wares that I was faced towards had my back directly to, like, I guess, on the clock at 12 at from the entranceway. So there's like me and another shopper, and then the workers, the owners who are running the store, had their cashier elevated along the wall, and there were so many wonderful supplies that the only outlet was whenever you deal with the cashier. The rest was all covered up with lots of beauty supplies for days and days. Beauty supplies. Oh my God, I loved it. And then so there are hardly any windows. If there were windows, they were covered up with beauty supplies. And so, oh my God, while I'm sitting there, you know, browsing the wares, somebody flings open the door. You know, it was like, fling open the door. And it broke the stillness out of the atmosphere, right? Because there was no music. There was no conversations. I mean, it was like 1 p.m. And then it was a gentleman's voice that goes, "This is a stick-up!" And I'm all like, usually I'm a very jumpy kind of girl, but I guess the Holy Spirit must have overcome me, because I just kept browsing. I didn't pay that guy no mind. I'm all like, so what's this over here? And then maybe after about 10 seconds, 15, may have been 20, I don't know, he just leaves, and then you hear a car squeal its tires out of the driveway or out of the parking lot. And then maybe after about maybe another 20 seconds later, the worker or the owner of the store behind the cashier wall of wares poked her head out like, what the fuck? And so I'm all like, let's keep on shopping, really. And then so I thought about that sometime. I'm like, isn't that just really awkward? I mean, for that guy. And then so I finally have figured it out for myself. So basically, whenever there is conflict that comes to you, and you remain an observer and detach yourself from it, because it is our feelings, our emotional outbursts, our emotional feelings, period, that carve out what the universe is going to say. Oh, look at that. You really were emotional with that. Here, have some more of it. I know you like it, or else you wouldn't have gone there. And it's because whenever I kept on my groove with just doing my, oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. I love it. I paid him no mind. I paid him no mind. I paid him no mind. And since the energy stopped there, if I had met him with any kind of energy, like, what do you mean? It would have given him that impetus to go, hey, I said, this is a stick up. Now give me what you got. You know, it's an exchange of energy, an exchange of energy, an exchange of energy. But since I remained placid, since I remained monotone, since I didn't give him any response, he took off. But this is how I relate to not pushing back. So whenever you push back to contrast or challenges, you sync your vibe to that level and you keep the exchange going of that energy. See what I mean? But whenever you remain detached as the observer, you're not striking forth any kind of energy. You're able to maintain your vibe up here, because whenever there's a contrast, the solution is never on the level of the contrast. The solution you want is on a whole other level. That's why calm minds prevail. So at any rate, it's been Patricia and Landon talking about how you know that the police officers of America are part of the agenda of harming America by omitting subjective-objective protocols to rally safety for targeted individuals or individuals being gang-stalked, because instead of serving the public, they're serving themselves to the public, as evidenced by no public address of gang stalking and having no subjective-objective protocols for the individual being gang stalked or for the targeted individual being targeted. That's how you know they're a part of it. So at any rate, think about your responses to conflict and what that means for you with not pushing back. That is how you deal with conflict without bringing more of it into your life. At any rate, Patricia and Landon Regali, Chief Little Flower, coming at you from the Truman Show somewhere in the United States. I'm on a Truman Show, bitches. For everyone that enables that and uses it as ammo to gaslight me, y'all are dead. You should know that, because you put yourself in a casket. So whatever. Oh yeah, and of course, witches. where's all that backfire spell work going? Sayonara.
The bodies hit the floor.